Welcome back to Let the Boys Watch, an entertainment podcast brought to you by Going Gray Productions. I'm one of your co-hosts, my name is Robbie, and today it was Kevin Smith week. And the winner of Kevin Smith week was the 1995 comedy Mallrats, written and directed by Kevin Smith, starring Shannon Doherty, Jason London, Jason Lee, Clare Forlani, Ben Affleck, Joey Lauren Adams, Renee Humphrey, Jason Mewes, Kevin Smith, Ethan Suplee, and Stan Lee. Alongside me is the cousin Benny. Cousin Benny. You here by Stan Lee?
No. Who's Stanley?
Stan Lee, the Marvel comic guy.
Yeah. What about him?
Oh, he died.
Who cares?
And alongside me and the one of our co-hosts and good friends, Ryan. Ryan, how we feeling?
Feeling good. Keeping my kids off the escalator. How are you feeling?
Doing
That
good.
kid is
Doing good.
back on the escalator.
Leave it alone. Like Robbie said, this is Let the Boys Watch, and we will typically, depending on the week, but typically watch a movie that one or all of us haven't seen. And like you said, it was Kevin Smith week. I think we've been looking forward to doing a Kevin Smith week for a while. And I believe Robbie is the only one who hasn't seen Mallrats. Is that true?
That is true.
Nice. All right. Very much looking forward to what you have to say. So,
Oh yeah.
um, oh yeah, timeless classic Mallrats. Um, and we do that. So we throw a bunch of movies on our Instagram for a vote every Friday. If you're not following us, please do so. It's in the show notes. You can vote on, whatever the 3 or 4 movies that we put up in the poll is. If you want to get involved in the conversation, send us an email, ltbwpodcast@gmail.com, also in the show notes. But let us know, what we missed on this week's movie, maybe an old episode, or suggest some movies for us to watch next week or whenever. We appreciate people that chime in. If you're one of the hundreds of listeners that also know us, feel free to send us a text. We did get a text this week from a fan. I'll get to that later.
Nice.
But yeah, just get involved, follow us, review us. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you follow, throw a couple comments in, because I guess no one wants to comment on YouTube. Do we have comments turned off? Maybe.
Maybe. I think that's what it must be.
It must be. But we love the interaction. And thanks for everyone who votes. Um, Opposite of thank you to the people who watch our stories and don't vote. You stink. But yeah, follow us on all those things and get involved. So what maybe I'll do the text in a little bit, but Robbie, I'm curious, since you were the only one who hasn't seen Mallrats, did you have any knowledge of it, or did you want to see it at any point, or was this even on your radar?
No, it wasn't on my radar, and I don't really recall wanting to watch it. I don't think I've ever seen any Kevin Smith movies. I really had no idea what the movie was about. Obviously, Mallrats, if I can surmise, it was probably about a couple of kids in the mall. But other than that, I really had no clue as to what the movie was about, the backstory of the movie, and anything like that. So I was going in there with fresh eyes. So, or as Macho Man says, jealous eyes. So, yeah, I didn't. I had no idea. But yeah, I guess I'll save my takes for a little bit.
All right. Benny, quick question for you, like kind of piggybacking off what Robbie said. Do you think that Mallrats is a good entry in the View Askew universe, or should most people really start with Clerks, you think?
So I really haven't seen much Kevin Smith either.
Oh,
This is
really?
like
Okay.
one of the few that I have seen. I've seen this. I've seen, I think, one of the Jay and Silent Bob movies. But other than that, yeah, I was like super anti comic book in like high school and stuff when I started getting into this. I was like, oh, nerds and stuff like that. So, um, I thought I was a lot cooler than I was. But yeah, so I never really got too deep into Kevin Smith besides this movie.
Okay. I think I've seen all of his movies. Definitely was a big Kevin Smith fan back in the day, but I'm sure we'll get into that stuff. I think this is a decent entry, I guess. I don't think it's his best movie at all. I do like it a lot for nostalgic reasons, but we'll talk about all that. So, really quick, I just want to read a text that I got from one of our biggest fans, listens all the time, Chrissy, and she texted me and said, and now my thing, here we go. Um, I wasn't sure if I should text you or Insta let the boys watch, but I wanted to give you some recommendations if you're okay with it. I noticed you boys do a lot of leading male-centric movies. Well, yeah, we're let the
Yeah.
boys watch.
Chicks stink.
They stink like roses. They stink good.
Oh no, they're beautiful. I'm just kidding.
I know.
I'm playing the heel, as they say.
You play it so good. I wish I was as good as you.
Well, there's a little underlining truth to my heelness.
The best ones, it's always coming from a place of truth.
That's it.
Um, and she says, "What if you did a female-led action movie?" My suggestions of recent ones would be Prey. The new Predator movie was actually pretty good, and a quick watch. Atomic Blonde was that single take fight scene was amazing, or even Mad Max
Ooh.
Fury Road because Furiosa is coming out soon. Hope this is okay and can't wait to listen this week, even if my pick didn't win. She voted for Dogma. So listen, Chrissy, we're always open to suggestions and recommendations. We will definitely do a female-led action movie at some point soon. So
You might have just made our post podcast meeting a lot shorter. Thank you.
yeah, yeah, exactly. We'll just, probably the ones you suggested. All right, done. Um, but see how easy that is. Send us a text, a message on Instagram, an email, and you can get your recommendations into the hopper. So yeah, thanks a lot, Chrissy. Much appreciated. And then we talked about babies not sleeping for a while, which is the bane of my existence right now.
Mhm.
So let's get into Kevin Smith. I guess I don't know if anyone specifically wants to start. But like overall impressions.
I'll start because
Yeah,
I,
go
I
ahead.
want Robbie. I want Robbie to go last on this one. I want to hear
Okay.
his. I'm very anxiously awaiting his takes.
I know, me too. I
Um,
can't wait.
this is a movie that holds a very like nostalgic place in my heart, and I was not gonna lie, I was a little nervous about watching this one again. Um, this is a movie that uh one of my best friends, Brian, and I watched a lot with some of our other friends, and it was like one of the first kind of moments that I guess formulated the humor of our group in the last few years of high school. So I always love this movie. There's so many quotable lines that I forgot about that came back as I'm watching this movie. As far as my impressions after watching it now, definitely a lot left to be desired with this movie. I mean, we've talked about some questionable acting with people. I think we definitely saw that with this one. It takes a little bit to kind of ramp up and get into all the good stuff. But I think my favorite moments in this movie are all like throwaway lines, like just little things like, the kid being back on the escalator, you know, the post breakup scene where Brody has the breakup letter framed and TS just comes in and just says, I too am now in the framing business. Like just all those little weird lines that are thrown in there are just so good. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's a couple questionable acting performances. Jeremy London just feels so stiff in this movie.
Brutal.
He has his moments, but I don't think he and let me pull up her name so I don't just say
Claire
character name
Forlani.
here. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that they had the best chemistry. So that kind of hurt the beginning of the movie, and it was one of those moments where I was sitting there thinking, "Oh, Robbie is not into this movie right now." But honestly, once the ball gets rolling, there's a lot of great little jokes in there. Very much of its time, which I think hurts it if you're watching it for the first time. But solid movie. I didn't, not that I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I just thought I was gonna at the end of it be like, I don't know what I ever really saw in this movie. But at the end of the day, I still enjoyed it. Just probably not in my pantheon of like top movies.
Yeah, I mean, totally agree. This also had a couple of my friends and I, especially shout out Liam, loved this movie in particular. I think a lot of people that are into Kevin Smith would say, Clerks is his best. And then a couple other ones here and there, like depending on pretty much like when you saw it. Because like this one also holds a lot of nostalgia for me, but it's pretty weak. Like watching it now in 2024, there's still a ton of lines that I find hilarious. And I think the best part about Kevin Smith movies is when you see the entire universe, or a skewniverse as he calls it, where there's a lot of connections between, there's characters that show up in all the movies, there's throwback lines and callback lines to things that have happened in other movies. So I think honestly, like these three are probably the best ones for like a first viewing of one of his movies, because while I think maybe like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back might be the funniest, it's funnier because you've seen all the other
You
movies.
have
And like
context.
Dogma, I think might be the best one just as a standalone film. And I'm upset that one didn't win, just for basically for Robbie and for Benny, who hasn't seen it, to see that as a standalone, because of course our best friend Matt Damon is in it. Um and he's young and hot in it too. So um but yeah, generally I really like this movie for the funny lines, the throwbacks, and the nostalgia. But as a movie, just standing on its own, it's not great. It's fun. I still thoroughly enjoyed watching it. I hadn't seen it in a couple years. But yeah, I'm like I told Robbie this the other day. I'm like, I'm very interested in what you're gonna say. So Robbie, take it away.
Yeah, so I don't have the nostalgia uh towards this movie or anything like it. Like I said, I haven't seen any Kevin Smith movies, but yeah, some of the acting in here was just horrendous, absolutely horrendous. Jason Lee, horrendous. Jeremy London stinks. It was just, and I lo love Jason Lee in what the hell? The hell's that movie we saw?
Almost Famous.
Almost Famous. Yeah, I just felt like he was just like going above and beyond, like just too much. And I don't know. I guess that was the character and kind of the character he played, but this wasn't for me. This wasn't it for me. The only thing that saved this movie was Ben Affleck and Jay and Silent Bob for me. I just think that there was just some things in this movie where I really wasn't into it. There was a few funny lines, of course, but I think the acting took me out of it. And I'm looking at it obviously with 2024 eyes and not 1994, 95 eyes. So it wasn't a movie that I watched when I was younger where I could relive it and love it in the moment. I'm looking at it now, and I read some stuff about how people loved it then and watch it now, and some of the jokes are a little 1994, 95-ish, but that doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm an adult. I'm not a snowflake, so it doesn't bother me. It just wasn't something that I enjoyed watching. It wasn't something that I'll go back and watch. It just wasn't my cup of tea. So, and mainly, I think not the story. I get this. The story was fine. I mean, I've seen a movie like that a million times, but I just think it was the acting that threw me off, and the acting can just take me out of a movie because me, I'm a world-renowned actor, thespian. So, I mean, forget about it. But those things just take me out. And once I'm out of something, I'm gone. So that
Yeah.
really killed me.
The one that stuck out to me so badly was the first time they get to the mall and Brody gets hit with the scaffolding. And he's like, "Where did that come from?" And Jeremy Lin's just like, "Looks like a stage is being erected." It was just like so like, come on, man. Like it looked like you were literally reading that line for the first time. And there were just a couple of moments like that where I could definitely see where it's just it's hard to get through some of the points in the movie, especially when you're looking at it with like a critical eye. So I definitely get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I was like, even watching, even in the beginning when he came on a couple of times, I was like, oh, he's a very attractive, guy. What happened to him? Like, why hasn't he been in? Like, I haven't seen him in any movies. And then I watched a couple scenes, and I was like, man, that's why he's not in any movies
That's
because he
why.
stinks.
I think this was so Jason Lee used to be a professional skateboarder. I think this was his first acting job.
It was.
We could
Yeah.
tell. I mean, I've
Oh yeah. I mean I like Jason Lee in this movie. He is definitely over the top. So I could see him being annoying, but like I think I liked that when I saw it when I was 17 or whatever. So like he still makes me laugh, but you guys are spot on with Jeremy London. Like my favorite part when I was watching it this time was watching him in the background, not when he was talking, but like when he would just be like sitting there, like just with a weird look on his face. I'm like, man, all
Yeah.
right. I feel like maybe they wanted his brother and got him instead.
Who's his brother?
Jason London.
Oh, who's that?
He was definitely in Dazed and Confused, but I don't know what else he was in.
Uh,
see, I thought what's his name was in Dazed and Confused. That's why I liked. I was like, oh, he was good in Dazed and Confused, but it was his brother, so that's why he stunk.
Yeah, they're
I,
twins, I
I,
believe.
to your point, Ryan, like I so badly wanted to be Brody after I
Ah,
watched this movie to the
of
point where I
course.
think I like brought a little paper cup with me to school for like a week.
Didn't you literally just say you were too cool for the nerds and now you
Yeah,
did
no,
that?
it didn't make sense. It was the sarcastic assholeness
Oh yeah.
of him that I
Yeah.
loved. Not necessarily I could do without the whole comic book aspect of his life. I was very selectively picking what Rhodey I wanted to be.
What, you think just because a guy reads comics, he can't start some shit?
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't know that. So
yeah. No, yeah, it's definitely like high school, early college, like this and a lot of the other Kevin Smith type movies. I was all in on. I loved them.
if
Um,
if I'm not mistaken, sorry to cut you off,
no,
Ryan.
go ahead.
If Brian's listening, I think he probably could back me up on this. I'm pretty sure I tried to get my nickname to be Brody at one point
Oh my
in high
God.
school.
good God.
I wasn't that all in.
I know. I was all
I
in.
just
I
liked
was
it.
impressionable. I was impressionable.
Would you say that this movie had the largest effect on your personality of in that age range?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Just thinking like, you have it all figured out. You're smarter than it, which is the total point of his character is
Right.
like he thinks he has everything figured out and he's so smart, but he's just a dumbass
Yep.
and like so off-putting to everybody. But that kind of flew over my head at 17.
Yeah. It's like he's so cool, even though he looks like a dirtbag.
Yeah.
Um, all right. I'm sure there'll be more discussion on this, but let's get to plum scores. Does anyone want to go first?
I can go.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm giving this my lowest plum score ever. And as you know, for me, I'm Mr. Highs, always
8.1.
eights. Yeah, 9.6. Uh, I know I'll catch some flack from people probably, or maybe I won't. Who knows? Uh, the it just wasn't something for me. I just didn't like it. So I'm gonna go 7-1 for this movie.
That's you don't like it and it's a 7.1 and you're
Yeah,
gonna catch flack for a 7.1. I wish I would have went first now.
yeah, I'm gonna go 7. That's like a Z plus
An
in
F
my in.
minus.
Wow. That
It's a
let
Z
me go
job.
now because I really want this comparison to come through strongly. I enjoy this movie a lot, but I will take a quote from Brody and say that I would also like to come loudly one day, and I will be giving this movie a 6.9. preferably. So love it a lot, realize the faults, but I'm going 6.9 on
Ah, goddamn. I should have given it a 5.8 then.
it. That's what I thought we were in 5 territory
Yeah,
with you.
5, maybe low
Oh,
6s.
it's
Uh,
6.7.
um, I was
Don't tell me I'm gonna have the highest score and I hated the movie the most.
maybe I should. Um, I actually was gonna give it just slightly lower than you and say that I love it, but I have to go higher. So I'll go 7.3. And it's there's probably other movies that we've given scores to that I've rated lower that are way better movies than this, but this movie gets a bump to I was, gonna give it like a 7 or a 7.1 because of just how much I loved it when I was younger and how it's some of the lines are still hilarious to me. Um, but yeah, I'll go 7.3 just so I'm just so Robbie's isn't the highest.
Thank you.
I was probably on like a 7.1. And thinking about it this morning, A, I wanted to use that line. And B, I was like, I kind of went to the old, do I want to watch this anytime soon again? And I'm kind of good on it for a while.
Yeah.
So I was like, for that fact and some of the acting in it, I think 6.9 is where I'm at.
Yeah. I did watch Dogma like immediately after I watched this, and I wish it won. It's a better movie.
Yeah, I definitely want to do it at some point.
We'll see. Um, all right. Do you guys want to talk about characters or scenes first?
Let's do scenes. I think the characters are a little bit better in this movie than the scenes
Okay.
themselves.
Yeah. Well, do you want to lead us off then?
Sure. Let's do least favorites first.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm gonna pick. I'll leave the one that I wanted to pick on the table because I
Okay.
just feel like there's gonna be a lot of conversation around it. I'm gonna go with the uh underage aspect of the movie. It felt really weird now, and I don't understand why it didn't feel as weird then. Maybe because I was like closer to that age when I watched the movie.
Probably.
Um, but especially because it's 15 and not like, oh, she's 17. She, about to turn 17. 15 is like super young. And it was like, it sent my mind off in a direction that took me out of the movie a little bit because it just felt awkward. And I and I were talking about it after, and I, tongue in cheek was like, well, it's a movie of its time. And she's like, no, that's always bad. I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. So yeah, I think the whole underage aspect, and I'll just say specifically the conversation about her book, Renee's book, that was off-putting to
You
me.
mean Trisha's book?
Trisha's book, yeah.
They call it Trish the
The
Dish.
Dish. No, they don't. Nobody calls me
Every single person I've met since this movie that's Trisha or some variation of that is Trisha this to me.
that. There you go.
Uh, Robbie, you want to go? You want me to?
Oh, you could go.
All right. Um, I think I don't know what scene you're talking about that you're leaving on the table, Benny, but I think I'm gonna go with not the first part of the scene, but after they leave the fortune teller, like Jeremy London's acting in that from him being like, "What are you talking about? There's boobs here," to like giving the
Yeah.
way he like gives her the money and is like, "You've been so helpful," and like all that. I don't know, something about that whole thing, and then the transition of them walking to the mall and he punches that dude out of nowhere. Like I don't know why. I'm just like, what? This is so stupid. Like it was. I like the scene of them going to the dirt mall. But it's definitely like, all right, we need like 10 minutes to fill. Like they could have just hung out in the parking lot for 30
Yeah.
seconds and been like, all right, we got to go back in there. So,
Yeah. I think my favorite part of that scene, though, and I only picked up on this now, and I didn't when I was younger watching the movie, is when they're walking around the flea market and he picks up the hat, puts it on, and
yep.
then he looks at it and sees it says Clerks, and it's his face. He's just like, ew. And he like
Yeah.
throws it away.
Brody.
They know me
Hey,
here.
Walt. You should have boards in them, you heathen. Robbie, what do you got?
Uh, I guess it's just a stupid scene to me. I'm sure people loved it in '94, maybe even love it now. But the poop pretzel. I mean, if anybody and their mother is gonna know that that pretzel smells like shit, and the way he ate it, and the way he was eating it, I mean, I guess it just annoyed me because Jason Lee was just annoying me in that scene. It just, it just was his character. I understand the character was playing like Benny said, he's Mr. Know-it-all and all this, thing like that. But he was just so much and too much for me in this movie that like every time he opened up his mouth, I was just like, dude, shut up, shut up. I was hoping for a power outage when this shit happened when I was watching this movie, but it didn't come to fruition. But yeah, that poop scene it annoyed me. It's not because I'm like, oh, gross and disgusting. Listen, nobody loves poop more than me and farts, but come on. It just it just was cheesy and stupid.
I wonder if he, even if he washed his hands, he stink palmed Stan Lee too.
He did. Yeah.
Shook his hand. Terrible.
Listen, you know when somebody shit their pants. And that guy was eating those fucking like Skittles, those chocolate covered pretzels.
He
I
can't
love
say
the
no to
chocolate
dark
covered
chocolate
pretzel.
pretzels.
Oh my God.
Me too. Well, that leads me to my honorable mention then, because I honestly thought a lot of people were gonna pick the first scene of the movie with TS and like the breakup scene, just because that's when
Yeah, it was bad.
I was like, geez, man. Like I remember the acting not being great, but I was like, yikes. They both seemed like they were reading the lines for the first time, and there was like no feeling behind it. Um, so yeah, I thought that was going to be an easy. I thought that was the chalk scene.
Nah, that's a good call. I didn't even honestly didn't even think of that, but you're totally right.
I think I was more mesmerized by how beautiful that girl was in that scene.
Yeah,
An
she's
So,
good
attractive
looking.
lady.
but yeah, the
And
both. No,
Michael
you're
Rooker's
right though.
butt.
Who's?
Michael Rooker, her dad.
That
Oh
saved
yeah,
it. That
Yeah.
saved it.
Yeah.
that's it.
He's
He was in
it's
what's the? He was in
go-
Walking Dead.
He was in Walking Dead. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. He always kind of plays like the same guy.
yeah, but it's an awesome
Just a
guy.
lunatic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's so good at Guardians.
yeah. He was honestly one of the best part. Like again, going back on it now, like him and Shane in the beginning of The Walking Dead are probably like two of the greatest characters, just because they're such like hotheads and exactly what that show kind of needed. And you really feel it once those two are gone from the show.
Shane's the best. Shane's even. Please forget about it. His character in Wolf of Wall Street's top notch.
Yeah, he's so good.
Top notch.
All right. Any other
Any
honorable
other on
mentions?
Yeah.
Anytime Jeremy London was on the screen, anytime his dumb face came on the screen. I mean, it's a shame. Some like watching movies like this piss me off that I never tried acting because I know I can't be as bad as him. So I mean, I
You
don't got the
think so?
face.
You think so, but when the lights are on and then the camera's on you,
Well, come on,
it's not.
did you see when Ryan cut my pinky off and my
That's
toe?
true. That's
Please,
true. You're right.
come on,
I take
please.
it back. I take it back.
He got nominated for short film for the Oscars that year.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed
Yeah,
that. I
I got
must have missed
nominated
it.
for one of those Golden Raspberry Awards, the worst acting awards in Hollywood.
Yeah. No, I think all right, quick question. Do you think that if there was a capable actor in that role that this movie would have been that much better, or do you think it still wouldn't have been like that great? Like, do you think he specifically brought this down so much, or is it like I know you didn't really love Jason Lee either, but I feel like if they recasted him initially, this movie would have been a lot better and probably would have been a little more timeless.
I think so. I think it would have been a little bit better. I don't hate Jason Lee, but I just think he might have needed to tone it down a bit. Um, Jeremy London could have definitely gotten replaced by just about anybody. Um, and I think it would have been a good because like I don't think the writing was stale. Like, yeah, it's cheesy in here and there, but I don't think it was something like I was like, oh man, this writing's disgusting, or I can't stand, the dialogue in this movie. I thought like, yeah, there was some slow parts, but it's just really the acting that took me out of it. There was some terrible acting in this movie, and I just don't understand casting of characters sometimes.
Yeah.
There was part of me that went to like, is this trying to be like campy on purpose and like almost like comic booky? You know what I mean? Like it's like I said with the whole stage is being erected. Like nobody
Yeah.
talks like that, but you could like see that almost in comic book form. But I agree with Robbie. I mean, it definitely, it takes you out of it a little bit. And even though I don't think the story is super strong, I think it would have gotten better with a better acting performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I mean, look at the minimal scenes that Ben Affleck was, and he just stole every scene. He was far and away so much better than anybody in that movie. And you could just tell even what's his name was awesome. Jay, and even Silent Bob had no speaking parts in the movie, and he was great as well. I mean, those three kind of saved the movie for me.
Yeah.
And Joey Lauren out of that movie,
Oh, I was just
something
gonna
about
mention her.
something about her is just
The
and
best.
and tell you something right now, Ethan Suplee, take a fucking hike, bro. Too. Don't let get
Really?
me started on him. Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, please. I never
I
liked him
li-
for some reason.
I like him. I like him in Blow a lot. And he was the friend on Boy Meets World, wasn't he? I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure he was.
There.
and he was in Wolf of
Um,
Wall Street too as well too. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
Joey Lauren Adams, I'm pretty sure was dating Kevin Smith when they were making this movie and chasing Amy.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I
really
mean, that's a weird, yeah. Yeah.
great set on. I'll tell you that right now. Pardon my French.
No, her voice does it for me. I love that
Yeah,
voice. That
the
like
little
raspy
vocal
voice.
fry. Yeah.
What happened to her?
I don't know. I think she's in stuff here and there.
Her and what's her name too? I forgot her name. Like she was like attractive and a good actress, and I feel like you never see her again either. That girl from Just Friends. What's her name? Amy Smart? Is that Amy Smart?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? You know who she reminds me of? And I don't think it's the same person, but the wife from Liar Liar, the one that's getting divorced. Like they both kind of have that same voice thing going on. The one from Liar Liar has it like she has more vocal fry, but they give me the same vibe.
Are you thinking of the not the not Jim Carrey's wife, but the one who's getting divorced?
No,
Yeah.
yeah, in your
Yeah, yeah,
bra.
yeah. I forget what her name is, but it's like the same. Yeah, in your bra. What's her name?
I'm looking it up right now. It is Jennifer Tilly.
Yes.
Fertility.
So,
Mama.
um, yeah,
That's a good. We should do a Jim Carrey week, man.
we
Yeah.
should.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. We'll put it on the list. Um, all right. Favorite scenes, Robbie.
Um, my favorite scene is the introduction to Jay and Silent Bob. I mean, it's just fucking so stupid and so funny. It just made me die laughing. I don't know. The dance scenes, the hitting on the glass. I don't know. There's something about the words that were coming out of Jay's mouth that I was like, this is fantastic. And I'm sure everybody latched onto it back in the day. How I don't even want to use the like using the word like revolutionary, stupid, but it was something I probably never saw before in a movie like that. And it was funny to watch and it was good. Now I kind of understand why people love Jay and Silent Bob because they're just so fucking crazy and he was so good and he was really one of the people that saved this movie for me. And the introduction was really cool and it got definitely a few LOLs from me in the old dungeon over here.
I honestly did not think Jay and Silent Bob were gonna land for you.
Yeah, they did. They were my favorite parts. They landed. Yeah. I'll tell you who didn't land for me. Jeremy London didn't land for me.
He's still circling the runway.
Oh my God, a guy still up in the air refueling. Disgusting. But no,
Now
Jay and
that
Jay was top notch for me. He made me laugh and so that was nice to see. Nice little touch.
Yeah, them as a pair are so good in a number of movies and Dogma, Clerks, but Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back are I love that film. It's so funny, and they're in the whole movie. It's not like just little pieces. So very, very good. Um, my favorite scene, I have a number, but I think I'll just call it out because it was like always my favorite scene, and that was just I already said it, but when they go to the comic book shop and he's like, "What's going on?" and he just starts fighting with everyone. They're like, "Well, he thinks because the guy reads comics, he can't start some shit. I'll fucking take all you on. Tell him Steve, Dave, and like the whole, just that whole thing that happens is just so funny to me. One side red.
We were talking a little bit before you joined, Robbie. The Tell 'em Steve Dave guy and Steve Dave have a podcast called Tell 'em Steve Dave with Q from Impractical Jokers. Like they're all friends with Kevin Smith, and like that Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast is like crazy, like successful.
Oh, really? Well, Steve Dave definitely got a laugh out of me because it's so preposterous, the name. I loved it.
uh yeah.
Funny.
Oh, it was mine.
Yes.
Um, interesting. I'm gonna go with the dating game, and I'm gonna leave out the a lot of the TS and Brandy stuff because it was so over the top corny, a lot of it, like the fighting and everything. But as annoying as Jason Lee kind of gets towards the end of the movie, just him shitting all over Gil is hilarious. And just like he's like every time Gil like tries to pipe in, he's got something to knock him down. Um,
Definitely a jackhammer.
yeah. Where do you come up with this shit? Yes, that's it for me. I mean, that's just, again, Brody just thinking he's the most clever person on the planet, and shitting all over Gil. It was just great.
So funny. The perfect date when he talks about it, just the way Gil, who is Dante from Clerks, like the main character in Clerks. But yeah, the uh take you store shopping in stores you want to shop in and take in the opera, maybe deflate a mouse, and then we'll drive to the beach. Like just the way he says everything is
It's
so funny. It's
yeah.
so bad and corny, but it's so funny. You're the type of guy who begs for sex.
You've never seen me kiss. I
I
saw
saw
you
you
kissing.
kiss. He wasn't impressed. uh, very good. Any Ani mentions for best scene or favorite scene?
The two I was going back and forth on, but I just think the dating game scene was a little bit stronger and longer. But the other one was the food court debate after they
Yeah,
get the cookies. It's just conversations like that, I love. And
love it.
ironically, like out of all the stuff in the movie, like that's one of the most real scenes in the movie that actually felt like, these two characters know each other. They're always having these kind of debates, and it's a debate that you would have with your friends. So, yeah, I just love that part.
Agree. I was thinking I haven't had a stupid argument like that in a long time. I don't know, need to start more or something.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I agree with if Robbie didn't pick it, I would definitely have said like pretty much any scene with Jay and Silent Bob are of course amazing, so funny. Um and I mean call it out and a lot of the scenes with Ben Affleck were hilarious. Just
Yeah.
just the stuff he would say and like it's your day, babe. Like all the different punch him, like the whole, the back of a Volkswagen, like all that stuff is just
Yeah.
so funny. And he was
Yeah,
so
that's
good
like
in it.
I hate that the kid being on the escalator is mashed up with the Trish scene
Right.
because that is just I love that. I love that kid is back on the escalator.
Leave it alone. I hope his pants get caught in a bloodbath ensues.
I just need one of the parents to step up. I don't care which.
Yeah. Not a year goes by, not a year. Yeah. We used to, I think if we put our minds together, we probably could quote the whole movie because
Yeah.
we used to back in the day.
I another monument for me is the double dump scene when they, like I was talking about before, with the framing and just the conversation they have, and Brody thinking that Callow, he's like, oh, I thought that was the one compliment in the letter.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, real it's only part of one of the scenes, but the whole thing with him playing Sega and the Hartford,
Yeah.
the whale. They only
I'm
beat
winning.
Vancouver once, twice in a lifetime.
I'm winning 12-2, and the second period isn't even over.
So funny. Um, any other Ani mention? I'm sure there's, I mean, there's more, but we don't have to just go through the whole movie.
No, not for me.
Uh, um, all right. So then let's move on and do characters. You guys want to do, let's do, we'll keep it the same order. Let's do least favorite characters first and save the favorites for later. So, does anyone want to go first?
I'll go because I'll leave the good ones on the table for you guys.
Okay.
Um, Give me LaFours.
Oh,
It's
good choice.
I like A, he's a douche, and B, I don't like that he doesn't have any lines when you have Silent Bob in the movie. Like, why do you have two silent characters? It should have only been Silent Bob. You could have given LaFours a couple of lines. So I feel like that, not that it took away from Silent Bob in the movie, but like what was the thought behind not having him say anything the whole
Right.
time?
Are we supposed to infer that at the end he is, besides being her security guard, he is also involved with Trish the Dish?
I got that from the kiss on the top of the head.
Yeah. Inappropriate.
Yes, that's a little strange. I
Yeah.
hated his hat too. He's annoying.
Yeah.
That
Maybe
was a
impressed her
stupid
with the sock full of quarters.
hat.
Uh, like that kind of like that's my favorite part of Kevin Smith movies is those just like little things like sock full of quarters. So stupid, but I love it.
Yeah.
Um, Robbie, would you like to go next?
Sure, I'll go with T.S. Quint, Jeremy London. Terrible. The worst. Broke me out of this movie. Wanted me to be anywhere in the world other than watching this movie. I don't understand the acting. I understand maybe because of the fantastic looks. I get it. But anybody in the world, anybody we could have, who was big in back in the day? Who like
Should have
what's his
brought in
name?
Matt Damon.
Could have brought Matt Damon. I mean,
Stay
forget about the
tuned.
movie. The movie went into a different stratosphere. Um, I don't know. You could
His
have got
brother.
anybody. His brother.
I feel like the studio is like, we need this kid from Dazed and Confused. He's great. And they were like, we got Jeremy London for you. And they're like, yep, that's him.
That's
But it
it.
was up to his brother.
Give me anybody. Give me Emmanuel Lewis. I don't know. Give me somebody. I don't know who. I don't really care. But just give me somebody who is a better actor than that. Give me Corky from Life Goes On. I think he would have made this movie 14,000 times better.
Corey Feldman,
Corey Feldman.
That might have worked.
Ralph Macchio.
Oh, no.
No, please. Absolutely
No.
not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Give me even De Niro, like the CGI De Niro, like in The Irishman, as a young guy. I hate bad acting. I hate bad acting, and it's easy for me to criticize somebody who is way more successful than me. I mean, that's life, baby. But he's bad acting just ruins everything.
Not wrong. Um, least favorite character. I mean, I assumed I should have definitely had someone else in the hopper because I knew you're gonna pick them. But um I'll go with the kid who the schooner kid. A schooner is a sailboat, stupid head.
Stupid head.
No,
You dumb bastard.
you dumb bastard. Um, mainly because I don't have it. another choice because LaFours and Quint were kind of both my choices. I guess. Yeah, I'll save it for Ani Mensch. Ani Mensch. I think I'm gonna pick. What's her name in the movie? Uh, hold on. Claire Forlani. Brandy. Because like she was fine, but like all the scenes she was with Quint were just like, bleh.
It was super bad chemistry between the
Yeah,
two
he
of them.
brought it down, but she was like corny too, like on the dating show and stuff like that. So
Is
that's my
she
honey mensch.
is she English or something? Because I felt like there was a weird accent, and I wonder if it's because
United Kingdom. She was.
yeah, yeah,
She
it
grew
wasn't the
up in
best
London.
accent.
Good, good
For a London
call.
accent. A little dialect coach here, the cuss.
Yeah,
She was in Meet Joe Black.
she was.
Never saw
Me neither.
Don't want to.
Yeah.
it.
Don't get any ideas.
No. Um, any other Ani Menches for least favorite character?
Mm, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have anybody else.
All right.
Jason Lee.
All right.
You dumb
You
bastard.
dumb bastard. It's not a schooner, it's a sailboat. Um, all right, so then I go first for favorite character, and I feel like no matter who I pick, I'm gonna maybe steal from one of you. I'm gonna leave who I really want to pick on the table for my good
Pick him, baby.
friend.
Pick him. Pick
No,
him.
I'm gonna
You
pick
gotta.
Jason
No,
Lee
pick him.
as Brody because I love him.
Terrible.
There you go.
Stinks.
I know what you're saying 100%.
No,
He's a
I'm just kidding.
lot.
But it's just something. It's just something in my loins.
No, that's fine. I love him. I loved him like Benny. I didn't carry around a paper cup like him, but I did love him. And I
The things you
still
find out, the things you find out on this pod, I had no idea that he was carrying around paper cups in school.
amazing.
Tried to make it work. I was also in the market for a brown blazer, but I couldn't find one.
Oh, fill this with Coke, no ice.
Why
Nor
is
do
it
I have
so
a
small?
launch of
Why is
them.
it such a small cup?
Like his cup from a dentist office.
Yeah.
Those are the worst cups in the world, by the way.
Worse, they fall apart in like 4 seconds.
Who made those and thought it was a good idea?
Dixie.
Dixie.
Dixie can go fuck themselves.
Yes. But if you listen and sponsor the show, we love you cups.
Oh, please.
Oh,
Come on.
please forget about the best cups in the business.
Beer pong all day long.
Oh my God, love them. We talk about the cone cups.
Those are good too. I was talking about like the little like
Oh, I
stick
was talking about the
cups.
cup that's like a cone.
Oh,
Oh
those Dixie
yeah.
cups. Not as good.
If they're a sponsor, I love them. If they're not, those are the worst cups ever. You
The
can't put them
worst.
down.
Stupid. So stupid.
Stupid.
And
All
that
right.
guy's probably a gazillionaire who made that.
Oh, millions. Robbie?
Uh, I'm gonna have to go with my main dog, my main homie, and that's Ben Affleck as Shannon. I mean, please. The guy was light years ahead of everybody in acting. I mean, nobody plays a dickhead better than Ben Affleck, I think. He was fantastic as a dickhead in uh Dazed and Confused. He was fantastic as a dickhead in Good Will Hunting. He was fantastic as a dickhead in Mallrats. So I got to give it to my main homie, Ben Affleck. I don't like your life choices lately, because I absolutely hate Jennifer Lopez. Um, but it's a pass. I'll give him a pass. But I'm gonna have to go with Ben Affleck as Shannon. I mean, please. You want a 1990s uh, teen mall villain? Ben Affleck's the guy for you. So Ben Affleck as Shannon's my choice.
Couldn't think of anybody better. My favorite was obviously Brody, but my backup is Michael Rooker as Svenning, just because, again, this was a character back in the day. Hated him so much. Why wouldn't you just let my two guys enjoy their little mall jaunt? Uh, you okay? There's a mute button on the mic, babe. There's a mute button. But looking
That
back
came
on it,
through?
oh, big time.
Oh, sorry.
Big-
I
Sorry.
didn't hear much.
I was maybe because I have the AirPods in. That if it
Oh,
was
all right.
rumbling, it was rumbling my stomach. Um, no, but looking back on it now and appreciating his work throughout his career that I've seen, I watched him with a whole different light this time. So yeah, he was definitely one of my favorites in the movie, and he was just such a good asshole the whole movie. And those sheiks, I mean, come on.
Huh.
What a set.
Yeah. Like a couple of flapjacks.
Oh my God. Like 2 big bags of sand.
Be so horny, be so
It'd be so
stupid.
stupid.
Uh,
Yeah.
Ani Menches. I got a couple.
I'm gonna go with Ethan Suplee. I love Ethan Suplee. I love the whole,
Suplee?
interweaving
Is it?
of.
I thought it was Suplee.
I thought it was
I don't know.
Suplee.
Whatever. One of
Ben's a little
us is
French.
wrong.
She thinks he's a little French today.
um, Shout out to him overcoming a drug addiction. I know he's pretty heavy into that scene for a while. But I don't know. He just always pops up in movies that I like. He's solid. I love the whole sailboat thing being weaved throughout the whole movie. And then again, it's like one of those Seinfeld moments where that character comes into play at the last minute where you just think it was kind of this little side story. And he ends up making Silent Bob think he's got the Jedi mind trick.
Love it. Speaking of Silent Bob, I mean, Robbie, I don't know if you were planning on taking him, but I'll pick Jay and Silent Bob as one character. Love them.
So good. Really
So
so
good.
good.
They're my favorite, and they're so good in every movie they're in of Kevin Smith's. I love them.
I'll go I don't know her name in the movie. Maybe I should do some research and put a name down. Joey Lauren Adams, I think she's great. Uh
Yeah.
Something about her. She's very good in this movie. She's very good in I hope Big Daddy. I hope she's in Big Daddy, but I don't know
Yeah.
if she is or not. She is.
Yep.
She's good. I don't know where she is. Come back, Joey Lauren Adams. And if you're listening, come on a pod. And if you're listening, let me take you out for a nice steak dinner.
Be nice.
I want to
So
jump back. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so her name was Gwen in this, but she plays in definitely in two movies, maybe more, of Kevin Smith's Alyssa Jones, Chasing Amy. It's her and Ben Affleck as the two main characters. And I loved it when I was younger. It's probably dated. I haven't watched it in a while, but it was at the time like a more mature, like stupid movie, and there's a lot of funny parts. And Ben Affleck is in all of it. He's like the main dude character. But she's great in that and in this.
You fucker.
I want to jump back on the Ethan Suplee bandwagon real quick again and say
Yeah.
he has probably one of the best lines in the movie is when Renee Sharon Doherty walks up to him. She's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, a sailboat," and he like gets pissed for a second, and he just goes, "Brenda," and she gets pissed because that was her character name in Beverly Hills 90210.
That
I
was a
didn't
good
pick
one.
up on that. I
And
love
you
that
dumb
show back in the
bastard.
day.
Um, yeah, couple good ones, but Jay and Silent Bob, my faves. I should have picked them first. That was my fault. All right. Um, any other Ani Menches?
Gil.
Gil, yeah. The host, Richard Dawson.
Oh God, Pat Sajak.
Yeah. Um, it was a bad, I don't know why I just thought it was a bad acting job was the security guard behind the backstage. Whatever.
Yeah. What a waste.
What happened to these guys? They got stoned and knocked out that guy. And he was bad too. Um, Mr.
The
Svenning wants to see you.
Oh, his little assistant. Yeah, he was such
Yeah.
a little twerp.
You stamp the carpet down with your feet like this. You speak English?
Get off my set.
All right, so let's move on. How would you make this movie better?
I think we know.
We know.
I think we all know. And I
We
think we
know.
may need to bring it into the next segment. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I think before we do go into the everyone's favorite segment is regardless of some of the acting, um, I think this is a good representation of that time period, even though it feels really dated. It is a good, like, because that was a lot of people in suburbia's thing, going to malls and like the fashion and like what they were talking about and all that stuff. So like while it does feel really dated and the acting is bad, I think it's not a horrible choice to like show young, not young, but like teenagers or younger people now to be like, this is kind of such a 90s movie. That or like maybe like Slackers or Hackers or the Packers. I don't know.
Green Bay?
That's right.
New
Brett
Jackers.
Favre. All right, so then let's move on to America's favorite and fastest growing new game, Working Overtime with Matt Damon,
Hmm.
where we cast Matt Damon in any role, whether it exists or we made it up that we want to make the film better. So, would anyone like to go first?
Would you like to go first?
Um, sure. Um, I'm gonna not pick, I think, the easy pick because I thought about this in the shower the other day. I'm gonna cast Matt Damon as um I gotta I don't know, I gotta think of a good name for him. But he is the assistant manager at the Fashionable Mail. He works under Shannon and he is like his underling and does his bidding
Tanner.
and is, like going around like he captures Brody to get him in that back alley, which I wanted to mention when Ben Affleck punches Brody in that like alley. If you've ever been in one of those in a mall, which Benny you probably have, it's so cool. I loved being in there.
You feel so special.
Yeah. But yes, I'm gonna cast Matt Damon as damn it, I can't think of a good name. Paul.
Tanner.
Tanner. Yeah, Tanner's better. As Tanner, the assistant manager at the Fashionable Mail, the upscale men's shop on the second floor, who is Ben Affleck's little bitch and does everything that he asks him. And I feel like he would wear a headset.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
I need people at the register, please.
Um, Shannon asks that you guys come out of the break room.
Guys, if you have time to lean, you have time to clean. I see you out there.
You have to clear your days off with me first.
Give me a young, strapping,
Oh,
bowl cut,
mm,
little 5 o'clock shadow,
yum.
ripped, fresh out of high school, getting ready for college.
Ooh,
Maybe Harvard, who knows? Matt
probably.
Damon as T.S. Quinn. I mean, just
Of
the life
course.
of the cinch. Well, listen, I thought that was too easy for you. I thought you had something better than that. So
No, this was the easiest pick of my life. But I got a couple in the chamber.
all right. I mean, come on, those scenes would have been so much better. I would have even liked to see a sex scene with Matt Damon and Brandy. I mean, please, you could have made this movie triple X, and I would have been into it.
Vin
Um,
Diesel.
he would have brought the best out of Brandy. Those scenes would have been so much better. So yeah, all day, Matt Damon as T.S. Quinn.
Mm, good one. That was my number one. Yeah. Um, Give me a young, lean NHL '94, playing machine, long hair, dickhead, beautiful looking, ripped to the gills. Give me Matt Damon as Brody. I mean, forget about it. I mean,
That would be fun.
the movie would have been uh, a 36 for me out of 10. It would have been, pardon.
This
Uh,
guy's
yeah,
falling apart.
I'm falling apart. I'm falling. I got the sniffles. I'm burping. I'm doing everything here. Yeah, give me Matt Damon as Brody. I think Matt Damon plays a nice dickhead character, as you can see in The Departed. Uh, I think he would have played it well. Plus the interactions between him and Ben Affleck fighting over the love of his life. I mean, please, I would have had me in tears. Would have had me in stitches. I would have been laughing. I would have been crying. I would have been living. I would have been laughing. I would have been loving. So give me Matt Damon as Brody. Um, that's the only way this movie gets better. Then I would have walked around a paper cup. Then I would have done things like that.
Change your nickname to Brody.
Yeah, I would have tried naming him nickname him Brody. I would have my AOL screen name as Brody.
I just remembered something. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. So my travel team baseball jacket, I had stitched with Brody as the name.
That's I'm
Oh,
done with this podcast.
I
I'm
gotta
done with
find
this.
that somewhere. Oh my God, I gotta find that somewhere.
You were really that
Oh,
kind of guy? I didn't think that.
I loved him. I loved
No
him.
wonder I had to fucking launch into the bushes.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's
Imagine
fantastic.
like,
That's really fantastic. You gotta wear that jacket next week.
oh, you
Yeah,
have
right.
to.
Like I would fit in that. Jeez, the thing would be ripped into like it's a Hulkamania season.
All right, over the shoulders then.
Imagine what your parents thought. They're just like, why why is he calling himself Brody? I don't know.
Such an idiot. I mean, it was probably the least cringe thing I did as like a 16, 17-year-old. So,
Probably.
I mean, all the Thursday lyrics that I like printed out and like hung around my bedroom, that was like, oh, that this kid seems mentally stable.
You didn't print out I am no killer, did you?
Oh, please, it took number one spot.
What an
uh,
full collapse. What an album.
oh, please. I mean, come on. You can put that on right now and I'd jam out to it.
Ah, the best. Did you ever see them live?
Uh, I don't know. I don't think so.
Great show. Is
Yeah,
there
they're good. Theirs is good.
the fuck is
The Boo Company. They have a
Oh
house
my God,
band.
oh please. I forget about it. I love them.
Um,
See that? Did you see that acting? Like you would have thought somebody was right there when I
I
said,
I did.
I was
I
like,
thought
what?
someone was.
I thought maybe Paul Heyman
and
was
then I
sitting
went like
next to
this, and then and scene, and scene.
Not my tempo.
No.
you.
Benny,
Uh,
you might be divorced the next part after I hears all this.
Listen, I mean, I still have
Welcome
my
back.
moments.
Hey, welcome back.
uh, Me and you gonna be trolling them all, looking for honeys
Oh, please forget
on the
about it.
rebound,
On a rebound, honey bunnies.
screwing him in a very uncomfortable place.
Oh, please, missionary, stopping at Sbarro's, having a couple slices.
I was thinking more like the back of a Volkswagen.
And what's the other walk and roll? Maybe a little walk and roll free sample.
Bourbon Street Chicken.
Ugh.
I think all of us have either owned or own a Volkswagen. I have to say, not an uncomfortable place.
Agreed. Especially Passat's nice and roomy in the back.
Yeah, come on. They must have meant a Beetle specifically.
I think so. The old school ones too, with like the windows you had to like push open.
Yeah, no. Yeah, sure. Volkswagens.
Um,
Those Germans are onto
we,
something.
we call them the
Yeah.
shaggin' wagons.
um, real quick, Benny, did you get as into any other movies as this one at any point that you modeled
Uh
your personality after it?
I think so. I think Blow, like
Okay.
specific. And the long hair Johnny Damon look, that was definitely it for me.
You weren't a Matrix kid, were you?
I like The Matrix, but
You didn't get
uh
that into it. Okay.
no, I wasn't trying to go bowling for Columbine.
Okay. All right. Um, anything else that either of you want to say about Mallrats?
But we watched it. I'm glad
Yeah.
to maybe not watch it for a while though.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think there's other movies of Kevin Smith's that are better and are not as dated and have some bad acting, but I'm glad we watched a Kevin Smith movie. I'd like to watch another one, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm glad we watched it. That was exciting.
My
I'm
favorite
trying.
part of watching this movie and doing this podcast was when you acted like someone was next to you. That was my favorite part of this whole
Forget it.
Thank you.
experience. That was
Forget it.
Thank you.
amazing.
Ah,
It was perfect. Thursday, yeah.
I mean,
I'm,
I told you I could have been an actor.
you could have. You should have.
Anybody that watches on YouTube is gonna think, man, who's he talking to?
Yeah.
Who's in the house with him?
Who's the fourth man?
Is it
Never.
Hogan?
Paul
Maybe.
Heyman.
Um, all right. Well, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. If we missed anything, please send us an email, ltbwpodcast@gmail.com. Be like Chrissy. Let us know what movies you want us to watch. Um, I don't know, follow us on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. We love you. Robbie, tell him good night.
Hey Ben, I'm gonna say goodnight to Stan Lee.
Who cares?
Snoochie boochies.
She's fucking dead.
What acting? You knew she had the fattest ass.